Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's FPL Maverick, and today we're going to have a quick look at my Game Week 8 team setup, as well as some teams you should be isolating in the coming weeks. Well, let's get into it. Okay guys, so let's start with the Game Week 8 team setup. In goal, we've got Verbruggen, Gabriel, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Robertson. I'm expecting a little something back from Gabriel, Trent, and Robertson. That's Chelsea at home is not going to be easy, but they've got the best defense in the league. So definitely potential attacking returns on both sides and hopefully some defensive. Doubling up with the Saka and Havertz. Now they're both showing up as injured, but if I'm honest, I've seen the Carlsley has made it clear that Saka could potentially have played in the last England game, but didn't, as he thought it would be unfair. So I think Saka's going to play. If you don't have him, I don't necessarily you should bring him in, but if you have him, I'd play him, and I feel the same about Havertz. Johnson has great underlying stats, and I'll be honest, yeah, he's brilliant. If you don't have him, bring him in. Mbomo, his should be number one on your list. He's unbelievable. Underlying stats is great. Playing Manchester United away at 7.4 million with the run of fixtures he's got is it's brilliant. Rogers budget, he has a lot of potential returns and he has shown what he can do in these next few fixtures. Fulham away. I'm backing him to do something this week. Big man is our captain, Erling Haaland, against Wolves, who have terrible defense this season. I think he can score one, two, maybe even three. Chris Wood. Now, Chris Wood has been on form. He is taking penalties. And at 6.2 million against Crystal Palace, I'm backing Wood this week. On my bench, Fabianski, Semenyo, Greaves, and Konza. Now, looking to get Konza out. At some point, he's showing up as injured, but I don't know whether just to hold him off and go for Robertson. This is where Rico Lewis comes in. I'm potentially going to move Rico Lewis in for Robertson, which leaves me 1.7 in the bank. And then I can upgrade Wood to Solanke next week. This is my thinking. Let me know in the comments what you think. Now, let's move on to the different teams and fixtures that we should be looking at over the next, say, 6, 7, all the way through 12. Starting with Chelsea. Now, Palmer is he is a player that I think everybody needs to eventually have in their team. If you don't have him right now, obviously Liverpool away is not ideal. Um, I'd be looking at trying to get him in. Likewise, Nico Jackson. After 12, they've got brilliant fixtures. So these are the players that you kind of want to be looking into. Sancho and Madueke are just budget ways of getting into the Chelsea team, but I'd be going Palmer and Jackson first. If you can't afford them, Sancho, Madueke. Arsenal, looking at Saka and Havertz. Now, Saka is steady with the points. He's assisted in almost every single game he has played this season. And Havertz is well, he's getting his goals here and there. I wouldn't say he is absolutely necessary. He's not vital, but to get in the Arsenal attack, and he is Arsenal's attack. Yeah, I like Havertz. Gabriel, now he has attacking threat, but where the problem lies is Arsenal haven't been keeping clean sheets this season yet. They've got great fixtures coming up on 12, so if you've got him, don't sell him. Likewise with Raya, if you've got him, don't sell him. And Martinelli is just out there. He's potentially injured, but if I'm honest, I wouldn't be bringing him in. I'd be looking at him as an option come game week 12. Liverpool, you've got Salah, Trent, Jota, Kanate. Now, I like Kanate as a cheap way into that defense, and their defense is the best defense in the league so far. So, a cheap way into that defense, someone that is going to play every week, is something we should be looking into. Salah is Salah. He can score, he can assist against anybody. So, he's just a bit expensive. So, if you want an alternative, Jota, a lot of people are getting rid of Diaz, and it's because his minutes aren't guaranteed. Trent is a bit expensive, but for what he offers going forward in this defense, is it worth taking the 7.1 hits? I like it. I will be playing him. So yeah, if my suggestion is yes, get him. On to Manchester City, who have the best fixtures now, and a little muddy later on, but Man City realistically are fixture proof. They can perform in any given game. It doesn't really matter unless they're playing Arsenal. Or Liverpool. To be fair, I'd back City. Haaland is, well, underlying stats. He's proving that he is the best striker in the league. Um, if you don't have him, get him. Foden is a bit more of a dark horse, as not many people own him. 5.6% ownership, and he costs 9.2 million. So I wouldn't be necessarily bringing him in this game. It could, because Kevin De Bruyne is potentially out, so Foden can return. My problem is he hasn't quite hit the ground running, so maybe monitor him and see how he does this week. Maybe bring him Southampton, but I'd be prioritizing Palmer if I'm honest. Guardiol is, to be fair, his price has gone down, and that's not a there's not anything on him as a player. Uh, I think Guardiol has amazing prospects going forward, especially in these next games. And to be fair, going from there, Man City's defense are actually quite good. And this is why I am looking at Rico Lewis, 4.7 million, and he's playing in the midfield. He's very attacking. He likes getting into those positions at the back post. I think Rico Lewis is a great option for anybody looking to get away into that Man City defense. Aston Villa, we got Watkins, Rogers, and Bailey. Now, Watkins, what more can you say? I mean, it's Watkins. He has the potential to score against anybody, and well, 29.2% of FPL managers agree with me. Um, Rogers is he's a great budget pick at that price. I don't think there's anybody better than him. And Bailey, 6.3 million. When he plays, he's dangerous. But he has a tendency to pick up an injury here and there. 1.1% ownership. If you're looking for a differential, he's possibly someone to look into, but I wouldn't be bringing him now. Next on, Bournemouth. Got Semenyo, Tavernier, and Evan Nielsen. Now, if I'm perfectly honest, I'm only looking at Semenyo here, and I wouldn't be bringing him in now. If you've got him, definitely keep him because his fixtures are great. So we've got, I think, from about 10. It's unbelievable. So I'd be bringing in Semenyo. He is definitely going to be doing bits soon. Next, we got Brighton. Now, Brighton have a fixture swing in game week 12, so I wouldn't be necessarily bringing anybody in now. But what I will be saying is, keep an eye, because you want to bring in the likes of Minter, possibly Welbeck in the upcoming weeks. Try and keep some free transfers so that you have that option, because their fixtures get good. Everton, I'll be honest, I'm only really looking at McNeil here. He's got his underlying stats are great; they're actually amazing. His expected assists are the best in the league outside of Kevin De Bruyne when he plays. So, yeah, McNeil is definitely a real option. At 8.9%, I'd say it's still a differential. 5.7 million is brilliant for him. Calvert-Lewin is an option, obviously, but I personally I would invest in McNeil for Everton. Look at those fixtures: Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham. I mean, what more can you expect? What more can you ask for? Moving on to Manchester United, we've got Bruno Fernandes. Now, he has the potential to really do something for you in these next six. Look at those fixtures: Brentford, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester, Ipswich, Everton. They're amazing fixtures, and Bruno Fernandes is so creative. I don't trust him at the moment. I don't trust Manchester United. But if you want to take the punt, Bruno Fernandes is the guy. Um, I actually quite like Ahmad as well. I think he doesn't pass the stats test, as in the underlying stats. They're not very good. But the eye test, when you watch him, he moves the ball well. He always feels like he's not quite the guy that's going to give the assist. He's going to pass to the guy who's going to give the assist, which is not great for FPL. Garnacho, when he plays, is so attacking and he loves taking a shot. So if Garnacho plays, he's definitely one to look at. I wouldn't be bringing any of these in at the moment. I'd be monitoring them over Brentford. And if you like what you see, possibly bring someone in for West Ham. On to Fulham, Emil Smith Rowe, since he's left Arsenal, joined Fulham, he's just hit the ground running. He's been brilliant. 27.3% of owned, sorry, 27.3% owned, 5.7 million. He's very good. I wouldn't go Smith Rowe over McNeil, but Smith Rowe is definitely a real option. Likewise is Traore, 5.1 million. I'll be honest, this is a punt because Traore is not the most he's not the most successful attacking player, let's say. When he gets to the end, he doesn't quite put it where it needs to go. So FPL wise, he doesn't get many points. But if he can just tweak that little bit in his game, there's so many points. His underlying stats are actually okay. He gets into good positions and he's rapid. Hopefully, what Pep said to him helped. I mean, you never know. Andres Pereira on penalties, I believe, 5.3 million. I mean, he hasn't. There's not been many penalties for Fulham this season so far, but he's obviously dangerous. Only 1.7% owned, so I mean, he's there as a differential option, really. Raul Jimenez. Now, Raul Jimenez, since being back, he's he's been very good, and I'm not particularly interested in him personally, but I think there's something there that maybe can be tapped into because he is scoring. He's got his eye on goal. I mean, he just scored a free kick in the international break. So especially with those fixtures, there's goals going to be happening. So definitely look at Raul Jimenez and Robinson has attacking potential, and I wouldn't go for it because I don't trust him defensively necessarily, but Robinson does have attacking potential. You could use him as a rotation. Onto Forest's, Chris Wood's only one I'm really looking at. Gibbs White, to be fair, is very good. He's showing up as injured, but that I don't believe him. I think he might actually be coming back soon. So keep an eye on that. But Chris Wood is the one with these fixtures. Look at those fixtures. That's unbelievable. I believe Chris Wood has real potential to haul over the next six. Moving on to Tottenham, Solanke, I think, is one of my favorite picks this weekend for the coming. In this Tottenham team that loves to attack as much as they do, they don't like defending, but they like attacking. Solanke has a lot of points in him. I mean, look at that: West Ham, Palace, Villa, Ipswich. I mean, City's a bad one, but then Fulham. Unbelievable fixtures for him and Johnson, to be fair. Johnson, 6.6 million is such a bargain for what he produces on the pitch in this Spurs team. Two players that you should definitely be looking into. Madison is a bit of a punt, 7.5 million. We know Madison can do, we know what Madison can do. And it's a case of when is he going to do it? I don't necessarily think it's going to be, I mean, if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be against West Ham, but we have to monitor him. I wouldn't be bringing him in this week. On to Ipswich. Rory Delap has some good fixtures and underlying data has been brilliant. So a lot of people are looking at bringing Delap in. I I wouldn't bring him in as a sense of urgency, but as somebody to allow funds to be used elsewhere, he is brilliant. Leaf Davis is just attacking. I wouldn't be bringing in an Ipswich defender, but as somebody that is just going to be on the bench, rotation, Leaf Davis is an option. And onto Brentford, Mbomo is probably one of the first, if not the first, player on your team sheet. Everybody that knows what they're doing has Mbomo, and if you don't, you need to get on Mbomo. Look at those fixtures, and Flecken has great fixtures. If I wouldn't be making any goalkeeper transfers, if I'm honest. If you have him, keep him. But Flecken is definitely out of the keepers one of the better for this run. Now, moving on to what I would say is a wild card for this week. If I had a wild card and I was playing my wild card, this is probably what my team would look like. I'd have Kelleher in goal because Allison is out for rumors are 6+ weeks. So Kelleher is a crazy cheap option into the best defense in the league. Likewise, Lewis, like I was saying, 4.7 million. Cheap way into Man City, opens up funds elsewhere. And he's attacking. Guardiola, 5.9 million, and can definitely produce something. Konate is a cheap way into the Liverpool defense. Now, if you have the funds, go for Trent. I wouldn't go for Robertson. So it's either Trent or Konate. Palmer, like I was saying, now he's not the best for this fixture, but if I could play a wild card, I'll be bringing him in this game or possibly have someone else. But I think to get Palmer in, get him in sooner rather than later if you're on maybe a wild card. Saka, I want to keep Saka in the squad because I know what he can produce in this Arsenal team. And moving forward, I think he's someone that's going to be in my team for a long time. And Burmo, again, like I was saying, should be first on your team sheet. He's one of the best assets, has been Brentford's saving grace really since Tony left, as well as Risa getting injured. And Rogers, I mean, he's just someone that's going to offer quite a cheap way to points, really, because 5.3 million is nothing. Um, there's no one better at his price point, I don't believe. Solanke, like I was saying, look at that. West Ham, I believe he's going to produce a lot of points in the next 6 game weeks. Rory Delap, like I was saying, again, these are players that allow value elsewhere, but have danger within them. They can still score, they can still produce points. And Erling Haaland is my captain if I was to play this team because against Wolves, they are so leaky. They leak so many goals, and he is going to be on the end of at least one of them, two, maybe even three. We all know what he can do. On the bench, I've gone for Verbruggen, Semenyo, Greaves, and Aït-Nouri. Now, in hindsight, I think Verbruggen would be Flecken instead, uh, just because of the fixtures coming up over the next 6. Semenyo, I want to keep Semenyo in there because he is going to have some kind of price rise within the next 3-4 game weeks because of the games that he's going to be playing from there on. Jacob Greaves is realistically only in the team because he starts and is cheap. Rotation just in case someone else doesn't play. And Aït-Nouri, Wolves have some good fixtures later on, and he is attacking. So that is the whole thinking there. 4.4 million. He's an attacking player that can return. He's got some decent fixtures later on. So these are players that I'm not actually going to look to play often. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what you saw, let me know. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks. Peace.